What's up, guys? The other day I was on Facebook Marketplace and I found this really cool Miata. It had a hardtop, it was red, it ran based on what the person said. I'm not just telling you this for nothing because I am sitting in the Miata and it happens to be that Miata. The rear wheel was damaged a little bit. I'll explain that a little bit later, but I'm going to fix it. I'm going to get it registered and everything. I'm going to drive it around, check how it is, and then I'm going to sell it. And all the proceeds are going to Ukraine. I'm going to put a link in my description where I'm going to be sending all the money that I make off this car, and it's a little fun thing. It's cool to have just a Miata to drive around for a month. According to the guy that I bought it from, the only problem with this car was the fact that this wheel got hit by someone while it was parked on the street. As you can see, they're out a little bit, so someone clipped it. I might be able to have a picture of that. By the looks of it, the only thing that's bent is this upper control arm and maybe the lower one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off, replace the upper one, put it all back together, and then see if it's straight. If not, then I'll replace the lower one. If it's still not straight, I don't know. But yeah, that's the deal with this car, and that's the plan for right now. So upper control arms are off. Yeah, that's not how that's supposed to sit. At least I figured out what was wrong with the top one, that was the problem. But now this bottom bolt does not want to come off for the lower one, so I might have to just cut it, or I'll see what I have to do. I hope this bottom one isn't bent, but there is a chance that it might be bent like back there, just because this is a lot thicker of metal. We'll see. I'm going to take the bolt off and then see if it's straight. Myself trying to get this thing off, and now everything is taken apart fully. The lower control arm, the upper control arm, it's all very straightforward. It's these two bolts, one big bolt, and then same thing over there on the top. This is the broken lower control arm. It's slightly bent over here, which doesn't let the thing to go through, and I kind of had to cut out the bolt because it wouldn't come out even with the hammer. This is junk, no point on using it because I had to cut into it. This is from a different car, that is from a different car, and now I'm just going to put it all together and hope that the subframe itself isn't bent, which I don't think it is. As you can see, the wheel is kind of straight, but I'm hoping an alignment will fix everything else, because obviously you need to do an alignment after just redoing all the suspension. But I think I can just drive this straight to the alignment place. I don't have to tow it or anything, and I would call this a fairly great success. So because this paint is absolutely terrible, it has pretty bad orange peel, as you can see. So I'm just going to take this and use a regular cutting compound. I'm not going to go into a super polish because it's not that important, but even just the regular cutting compound can make it look fairly shiny. So that's what I'm doing here. So wet it, clay bar it, dry it, buff it. I'm going to take the stickers off, and that's probably going to be it for cosmetic wise. Make sure that everything is good everywhere else around the car. Quick walk around of the car. I already finished it, so this is after the fact that I fixed it. This should be the only problem with the car. I already went and got it registered. The paint is not the worst in the world, but it's still pretty scratched. I cut it. I still need to polish it. Actually only came with 3 of these wheels, so as you can see, it's on steelies in the back. I had these just sitting around, and I already have new wheels I'm going to put on it. So this is what it looks like right now on the outside. No major dents, no major nothing, but it was a Mako paint job. I already had to switch this out. There's a little bit of overspray on like everywhere on the car. Steering wheel, I'm gonna do a drive on this car to show you guys how it drives. The one annoying thing about the steering wheel is sometimes it kind of like actively moves. So like when you're turning, it's like it turns a little bit and you turn a lot and it doesn't move at all. So kind of sketchy, but whatever. Besides that, that's the interior. Has a roll bar, still has the soft top. It's fairly straightforward. It's Miata. I kind of got tired of driving these wheels around, so I had wheels sitting around from something else. Voila, these are the same wheels that are on my other red Miata. So I actually fit in this seat, which is surprising for any bucket seat. Everything is ready. Now let's start it, and I wonder how loud it's going to be actually in the video. Runs, no problem, no check engine light or anything. And I felt my first scrape. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. I just don't like that noise. I'm going to have to check it out once I get to the park. So as you can see, it's fairly close. And on this side has no problem, not even close to scraping. This side, it doesn't look like it's that close to scraping, but it's closer than the other side, and I can confirm right here it scrapes. I feel it over there. Sucks, have to raise it, but surprisingly it does not scrape in the front, which is nice. Ooh, it does scrape sometimes. So besides the wheel scraping, the car had no issues. I took it on some back roads near my house to test it out, and it drove nicely. Power steering, AC, everything worked. So at this point, the car was ready for sale, and the only thing left to do is change out the wheels and post it up. The Miata is done. It's a little bit shiny. As you can see, paint is good. I don't have those same wheels on it anymore. I actually found these on Facebook Marketplace as per usual, and I really like how they looked. I did a poll on my Instagram, and people agreed with me. I took off most of the stickers. I left a couple little ones like this Boba and this Mazda one, but besides that, it runs and drives perfectly fine. I've driven it for over 1,000 miles already, and the car has no major issues. There are a few little things here and there that I need to fix. I also changed the seats out for these leather ones. I just took seats that I have, and I bought the leather covers on eBay, and they fit pretty nicely. They're comfortable, everything's nice about them. I kept these in just because the roll bar has problems with putting in the regular stock seat belts, and besides that, everything else is almost the same. The speedometer does make a little bit of noise, but I'm going to try to fix that. I don't know if I'll just lubricate it or what. It doesn't scrape anymore, it's just fine. There's still rubber left over, as you can see, from when I used those other tires. I was not going to use those. I needed to lift it more, but this is on springs. Ooh. Yeah, that's great. So this thing is on springs, so that's why I can't really lift it or change anything. So that's why I changed the wheels, but I honestly like these wheels more myself. So that's it. I'm going to sell it, and then I'm going to talk about everything after that. Sitting here in Starbucks, actually got something. As you can see, I'm not by the car, I'm actually in my parts shed, which means that I actually sold the Miata. Now, before I go into how much it sold for, I would like to go into the cost of everything that went into the car. To start off, I bought the car for $4,000. I didn't have to rent a trailer or anything like that. I used my own. I'm not going to count up gas, but if you're going to do that, make sure to put those expenses into account. Next, the damage in the car was the control arms, which at a pick and pull would be 20 bucks per control arm, or I just took it off a car that I already had. So I'll just say 20 bucks for control arms, so $40 for the control arms. There are other things that I did, like the wheels. As you can see, I still have the wheels next to me. I did not end up selling it with the wheels because the person wanted a lower price. I offered them a lower price if I gave them some wheels that I had laying around. So I'm not counting the price of these wheels, and I'm not counting the price of those wheels because I kept the wheels that were on it. So I did keep some things, but I did sell it with some stuff that I already had. So I'm not counting the price of that. A similar thing with the seats. I put in reupholstered seats that I had actually reupholstered myself, which cost me $100, but I'm not taking the price out because I got bucket seats for myself, which technically I could have sold for and made some money, but I'm not, and I'm not counting the price because I don't know how much exactly they would sell for. So those are just canceling out. The next things that I did was I cleaned out the car, I buffed it, I took off the stickers, which all of that was just stuff I had laying around. If you're planning on working on cars, all of the stuff that you would need, like the buffing compound and the soap and everything like that, is stuff you should have on hand. Well, yes, you know, you're gonna have to buy that initially. It's like 20-30 bucks. Once you buy it once, you can use it for a good amount of cars, so it would be like $1 or $2, so I'm not counting that either. So that's all of the money that went to fixing the car itself. So technically it only really cost me $40 to fix the car, from the state that I showed it to the state where I sold it in. Next is the registration. Here in California, registration, there are a bunch of laws with registering cars and not being able to sell cars that, you know, aren't yours. So I ended up registering the car under my name. In California, you can sell up to 5 vehicles under your name. So I'm currently under that threshold, so I'm good. So I registered the car, which ended up costing me $300. And the next 2 things that I needed to drive the car around, which is a smog in California, which for a car that's older than 2000s is actually really expensive, so it ended up costing me $80. And then there was the alignment that I had to do for that wheel, which ended up straightening out fine, so that was $60. So in the end, I ended up spending $4,500 on the car. How much did I sell it for? Finally, we're at this part. How much did I make off this car? First, I would like to preface this by saying that this was 2 months ago. The car market has changed, and a bunch of little different factors affect it. So if you're looking to get into flipping cars, I would recommend looking into those different factors that affect different cars. In this case, mine was a fairly stock and simple car. It was on springs and it had steelies that I ended up selling it on. So in the end, I ended up selling the car for $7,000, which made for a $2,500 profit, which, like I said in the beginning of the video, I donated it all to a charity that helps fund aid in Ukraine. Like I said, I'm going to put the link in the description if you want to donate to this charity or other charities that help out with it. I would greatly still recommend it. If you like this video, I have other ones on my channel if you guys want to check that out. I have a bunch of different projects that I'm starting to get into, especially this summer. 2 different restorations and other Miata stuff if you're interested in Miatas. So subscribe if that's, you know, something you guys are interested in, and I'll see you next time.